But we've been to all these different places that we just have experiences we can't explain. For some reason, our human brains always say like, oh, there is an explanation.
Right.
But we cannot find it. We did Briggs Mansion in Rockford.
Yeah.
And
that's a hot spot.
That is a hot spot. We did Briggs Mansion. We had that place locked down, just the two of us. We were alone in the building. We set up a camera in the master bedroom. The Briggs master bedroom is mighty fancy. We set up a camera and a microphone in there. We left it running. All these batteries were fresh, brand new, should have at least 8-hour lives.
And they're Duracell. I'm just going to throw that in.
They're name brand batteries.
Sponsored by Duracell.
We are sponsored by Duracell.
Duracell are the best. I agree.
So I mean, we've got at least a 6 to 8 hour battery life. We've been there an hour. We leave a microphone in there just to record while we're gone. We come back an hour later, the microphone's dead. Okay, that's weird. Sure. Chad is wearing a microphone on his chest. And I say, if there's anything here that drained that battery on the bed where we left this microphone, can you drain Chad's battery too? Within 30 seconds, this battery goes from full battery to dead.
Jeez. Whoa.
And will typically give us it's probably a half hour time at least.
It'll start flashing and giving you a half an hour, hey, your battery's got 30 minutes left. No, it went from full to low to dead within 30 seconds of me saying, if there's something here, drain Chad's battery.
Wow. Does it work in reverse? Can you be like, hey, fill this up, we need it?
That would be financially beneficial to us because batteries are expensive. But no, we should try that.
Can you make
We've
this
never
4K?
Run that test.
Can you please make this shot 4K?
Well, it's weird with the whole energy thing, with electricity and because I mean I've heard the opposite. Where in stories where entities, whatever entities are there, will blow they'll overdrive light bulbs and just whoosh, or toasters or microwaves or whatever. They'll just overdrive them. And
it's crazy you say that because going back to Prairie View Rest Home, the third and final time that we ever went there was probably the most insane. I don't know that it's going to ever show up on camera, in the way that we will explain it, but what transpired in the final moments the last time we went to Prairie View was just absolutely crazy. And we went in there the third time. We were like, okay, well, how can we make this different? How can we tell a different story?
Yeah.
And the first two times we obviously went in there and we went through during the day. Is everything okay?
All good.
All right. I hear some
but the dog's crying.
The dog is whimpering.
I was like, I didn't know where that was coming from, man.
I know. I was like, you're telling this story, and
I saw your face.
Yeah, I was trying to hold it together.
You creeped the dog out.
I didn't know where that was coming from.
The dog out. Tank, relax.
So the first two times we went in there, we went in during the day, and we always do this it's like a police check type situation.
Sure.
We check everything out. We check all the rooms out, make sure there aren't any homeless people.
We clear the building.
Nice. Nicest way to put it. And then we'll go in at night and we'll do our investigation. The last time we went in there, the third time, we said, hey, how can we make this different? How can we tell the audience a different story? We're going to go in there blindly after not having been in there in more than 3 years. We're going to go in there at night without having seen it during the day. And we felt like that would give the best reaction from the two of us. And I tell you what, we went in there and we ran a couple different tests, and it seemed like we were standing in the top, the second floor, which is basically where all the action happens.
Right.
And we were standing on the second floor, and everything started getting a little heavy. We always use the word heavy. We're like, hey, things seem like they're getting a little heavy right now.
The atmosphere starts shifting.
Yeah, it's
like
an
excellent word.
And it's just this heaviness that comes over us, and it's like, hey, it seems like it's getting a little heavy right now.
It's getting heavy.
And we're running the Ovilus. And if you're not familiar with the Ovilus is it's a form of spirit box that has a built-in database of over 2,000 words that will recite words on. Basically, it takes things out of the atmosphere, and if it picks up anything, it will say things. And
Based on frequencies?
Based on frequencies, yeah. So it's completely random. You can get the most weird, bonkers word, or you can get something that relates to the situation. Which this night, we were running it, and again, I'm always the first person to suggest, like, hey, should we maybe get out of here? And Travis, because my senses are so much more peeled, I feel like behind the camera, Travis is like trying to get the shot, and
Right.
you know, he looks to the side of the camera, and I was like, I think it's getting a little heavy in here right now. And I'm like, yeah, I feel it too. And our ovilus picks up this word, and I think it says devil.
Oh,
I think it says devil or evil. I can't remember specifically. It's been a little while since I've seen the footage, but it says one of those words. And
One of those words you don't want to hear.
yeah,
Right.
it's not something you want to hear in a place like that.
No, you're like,
And I just kind of look at him and I'm
devil,
like,
that means nothing. That's
like,
fine.
man,
Keep going.
This is a little weird
Yeah.
here. And have you ever seen the movie Ghosts?
Patrick
Patrick
Swayze's
Swayze.
best, you know?
And Demi Moore.
Pottery scene?
Yeah.
Not quite.
Okay.
You know the little like black.
It's bad CGI, but when those ghosts starts coming out of the floor,
When I was
Yeah,
7
like to
years
come
old,
get him or whatever?
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
was 7 years old, it terrified me. And that noise that they make, it was as if there was a crowd of humans that were coming up through the floor and just making this god awful, like, and we both heard it. And I just remember like looking at Travis, my eyes were just as wide as they could be, and said, "Hey, do you hear that?" And he's like, "Yeah, it sounds like there's people coming up through the floor." And it specifically sounded
people like moaning.
it was a moaning. It was almost like a zombie movie. Like there was
Oh my
people just
gosh.
moaning up through the floor. The ovilus says devil. I reach and grab the bag, and at the same time, because we're getting out of there.
Yeah.
I reach and grab. I think it's time. This is time. We're gonna call it. I reach and grab the bag, and the camera shuts off.
Full battery.
What?
The camera shuts off.
300 minutes left on the battery. The camera completely shuts off. We got out of the building, and it turns back on. No problem.
Wow.
As soon as we got out of the building.
I have no explanation for it.
We run to our car, which is probably several hundred yards away, and we hear coyotes start going crazy in the distance. Just like animals start going crazy.
Because animals are sensitive to stuff, I think.
Animals are sensitive to stuff. So all of this happened to us. Our camera shut off as though it wasn't going to let us capture what was about to happen to us. Until we get out of the building, camera turns back on. It's
Fine.
good. It's good to go. Coyotes start going crazy. We get in the car. We book it.